So justice and mercy in the Old Testament, lesson number 3 in the quarterly, the role of the church in the community. Now, when you hear the title, Justice and Mercy in the Old Testament, what pops into your mind?
Jesus Christ.
Justice and mercy in the Old Testament.
The scales.
The scales, okay. The scales pop into the mind. Let me ask you this question. Is there a difference, and do pause before you answer. Is there a difference between justice and mercy? And this is kind of something for y'all to process. Do you see it? Is there a difference? And if there's a difference, what's the difference? How are they different? Well, you know the question I frequently ask, what law lens are you looking through? If you look through the human law construct, that laws are imposed requiring enforcement, then what's justice in that law lens?
Retribution.
Punishment. The infliction of the just, the appropriate, meted out, judicially determined punishment inflicted upon the lawbreaker. That's what the justice is in that system. What's mercy in that system?
We'll give you a pass.
Yes, and one of the dictionary definitions of mercy you can look it up in the dictionary. The discretionary power of a judge to pardon someone or to mitigate punishment, especially to send someone to prison rather than invoke the death penalty. Okay, this idea that, well, justice requires we punish, mercy is the mitigation or setting aside the punishment. That's what mercy is in the human law construct, level 4. It's level 4 and below thinking.
You could say that they're the same thing because the merciful approach is to justify that person, to put them right, to move them into correct position, healing. That is the merciful thing to do. It's not punishment. It's bringing them...
But this level 4 thinking, let's just unpack it so you won't be caught up here, because this is where most people that you will talk to will immediately think justice is the just amount of punishment. God is the judge. He's always perfect. He can assess all the variables and he can come up with the right. And some people teach that in the 1,000 years you get to sit on a committee and you get to review the records and you get to weigh in and make a vote on how long a particular person suffers before they're killed. Some people teach that, you know. And it'll be just because we'll have all the perfect records of everybody there. So we'll know all the details. And then justice is in the infliction of that. But mercy, what's mercy? Bringing it into an end, not punishing him for all eternity. This is what some might say. Or, in this particular case, for most Christians, mercy is God was required by law and justice. He had to inflict the penalty. But he loved us too much, so he sent his son, and he punished his son instead, and invented the wrath and the just punishment on his son. And then if you accept that payment, God won't have to punish you, and thus he is both merciful and just. This is penal substitution theory. But God is the creator. He's the builder of space, time, matter, energy, life. His laws are the protocol upon which reality is constructed to operate. Thus, deviations from his law result in what? What do deviations result in? Death. It's a terminal condition to deviate. So with that mindset, with level 6, 7 mindset, then what does justice look like? Justice, the right thing, doing what's right, is the sustaining of God's laws, the protocols upon which all reality exists, not changing one jot or tittle of the law, because to do so, this universe that we know collapses. It doesn't exist if he changes it. This is how it's built. It's how it's constructed. So justice is continuing his law, which includes the law of love and liberty, not violating those, and granting people real freedom to make their own choice. That's justice. But then, if the just course is for the deviant to live under God's design law, then what happens to them? To reap what they've sown, what do they reap? They reap death. Have I lost everybody in here today? Okay, because I usually like you guys rule. Okay, so where does the mercy come in then? Where's the mercy? Mercy is God, through Christ, providing free remedy, which will heal and restore all those who will freely choose to partake it and participate. That's the mercy. The condition is terminal, but God, through Christ, mercifully offers a remedy to heal all that we freely participate in.
And also mercy to allow us a span of time to think about it, rather than the natural consequences would have come a lot sooner if he hadn't intervened.
And so, with this in mind, justice, doing the right thing, and mercy, doing the merciful thing, are they really different? Or, in reality, are they always expressions of love? Always. So, let me give you an example. If you had a child dying of liver failure from years of alcohol abuse, and they're dying. And if you've ever seen someone die of liver failure, it is one of the worst ways to die. It is a horrible situation as they die of liver failure because the liver produces all the proteins for blood clotting and albumin, and you swell up and you turn yellow and you bleed into various places. It's a very horrible, miserable way to die. If you had a child dying of liver failure from alcohol abuse, yet you actually had the ability to provide a remedy that would not only save their life, but restore them to perfect health, including victory over alcoholism. If you had that remedy, would you offer it to them? And if you offered them that remedy, would that be right? Would it be just of you to do that? Would it also be merciful? See, under design law, justice and mercy are synonyms. But wait, what if your child, even though you provided this remedy that would cure them completely, refuses it, won't take it? What then? What then is the just or right action for you to take?
Because it's a child, you would do it anyway.
Adult child.
Oh, adult child.
Because remember, they've had years of alcohol use and liver failure, okay? This is an adult child. What then is the right action to take if they refuse it? Do you then, well, if you refuse this, you're a disobedient child, I'm going to have to punish you for I'm going to beat you, I'm going to torture you. I will have to now execute you. Is that what you would do?
You let them die as mercifully as possible.
So would justice require one to harmonize their actions with the law of liberty, leaving the individual free?
Which is could still be angry. Angry because there's nothing more you can do. Not angry at the person, but at the situation.
And if you did allow them to die while you possessed the cure, but they refusing the cure, of course, would allowing them to die also be a merciful thing?
Yes.
Or would it be more merciful to artificially keep them alive in a state of pain and suffering? Which is the merciful thing? Is it the right thing to let them go and have their free choice? Is it also the merciful thing? Do you see, when you understand levels 6 and 7, justice and mercy are always harmonizing because they're always expressions of love. It's the right thing. It's the merciful thing.